Welcome to Titan Table Talk. I'm your host, Derek Bowman. Joining us right now, baseball coach, Coach Martel. And Coach, thanks for taking some time with us.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Well, your season's underway. Record-wise, maybe not the best start. You guys are a young team, a little struggles early, some injuries and that. Tell us a little bit about some of the things going on and where you're up to at this point in the season.
Well, it's kind of weird. I really like my team. I think we have a chance to be good, but I've told them, I said, let's withhold judgment of where we're going to be until about the 20 game mark. We've had some injuries just that really hamstrung us early. Two of my top four arms are out, and anytime you lose, two of your frontline pitchers, you're going to take a hit, and we have. My second baseman's out, my third baseman's out. I only have two returning regulars from last year, so a lot of young guys. I say immaturity in a good way and in a bad way, physical and mental. It just still learning to play the game, and the college season is a grind, and for some of them they're standing around like, oh my God, I didn't have to think about this stuff in high school, like holding runners and pickoffs and bunt defenses and situational hitting. And so, but it's fun. It's we're so close to being 5-2, 4-3, but we just gotta. I told them you learn how to not lose before you learn how to win, and we're finding ways to lose games right now, but we'll be okay.
Well, and it's having been a ball player in college, going from high school to college, it takes a lot of the players you have were probably the best player or second best player on the team, and now they're playing with guys who are as good as them, against guys who are as good as them, and not realizing that they're head and shoulders above everybody else.
We may be literally the youngest team in Division III, and I say that because of the COVID years that the NCAA gave 2 years, 2020 and also 2021. So there's a lot of teams that have fifth and sixth year guys. We have 5 seniors and maybe 5 juniors. We are really a freshman sophomore dominated team. So we have 18, 19-year-olds, and the other teams are playing with 21, 22, maybe some 23 and 24-year-olds. It's a big advantage and disadvantage for us, but you know what? When we're healthy, I think we can put a really good team on the field.
Well, if they figure it out at that 20 game mark that you're talking about, which is just barely into the conference season, and you get into that conference tournament at the end of the season, those guys then no longer freshmen or sophomores, they're no longer rookies. They'll have figured some things out. You could be a very tough team at the end of the year.
That's the hope. I think and even our conference schedule, honestly, I think we play the 3 best teams at the end, so it sets us up to maybe make a run early. Not discrediting anybody because hey, look at us, we're 1-6. Everybody wants to play you, but I think early on we play the lesser teams in the league, the top 3 teams in the preseason ranking. We play the last couple weeks, so I think the schedule sets itself up for us to get that experience, and then let's go see what we can do.
Well, tell us about, you said you have 2 veteran players in the lineup. Tell us a little bit about those 2 guys.
Jalen Ping's our right fielder. He's a stud. I think he's a all-region, borderline all-American kid. I mean, he can do a lot of things. He's batting second for us, and he's really probably a 3-4 hitter. But I said I want to have him hit second because when the lineup turns over late in the game, I want to make sure he's the guy getting the extra at bat. And then Luis Perona, and we're trying to figure out where to play him. He's got some versatility. He's in the lineup because of his bat. So we got to find ways to, I don't want to say hide him, but either left field, or third base, or first base. He's played all 3, but he runs really well. I think he's got 6 stolen bases already. Both of those 2 can just swing it, and you like to get guys on base when they come up because they can do some damage.
Well, you showed that you have the ability to put up a good game. You mentioned you could be 4-3 or 5-2. Well, let's talk about that win against Nebraska Wesleyan. And we talked before we went on air. I'm very happy when you beat Wesleyan, Nebraska Wesleyan, that is. They were one of our arch rivals when I was in college. But you beat them 11-0. Banks was on the mound getting the win in that one. Tell us a little bit more about that game.
basically all Dalen Banks. Even the first game this past weekend, he's shown that he's our horse. I mean, only a sophomore and just really talented kid. He's probably an 85, 86 guy on the mound, but throws a changeup for strikes, which is rare for a lot of guys. Throws a nice breaking ball. He pitches, and he kept us in that game, and we get off to an early lead, and that's one of the few games all year we actually had a lead early and were able to hold on. It seems like we spent the whole year chasing, and but yeah, Dalen's really good. Had another good outing against a very good Wash U team, but we had the lead late, and then we ended up giving it away with some walks and hit batters, and typical bugaboo of our team right now.
Well, coming up this weekend, I guess Saturday, you start to go on your spring trip.
Mm-hmm.
Head down to USA Complex in Millington, Tennessee, and get some games in there against some schools you don't always get to see, although Chicago's in there also, one of those. Opportunity for your team to grow. What are some of the things you're looking for on this trip, wins and losses aside?
I guess just getting outside every day, practice, where you've got 10 days of nothing but baseball, where you can work on a lot of things. You can go out there for practice, you can be out there for 5 hours. And not that you're running and it's a hard practice, but you take your time doing a few drills, talking some things. It's also, I guess, the team bonding type of stuff. Guys are on the road for 10 days in the hotel, so you get to hang around them more. They get to know each other a little bit more. And we do have 11 freshmen and 6 transfers, so our team is really kind of new, and so maybe it's a good opportunity to get on the road, away from everything, away from the distractions of class, labs, girlfriends, I guess, but just where it's all baseball. That's the best thing about the spring trip is just it's all baseball for 10 days.
Yeah, they get to be almost like a professional for 10 days where all they have to worry about is hitting the ball, catching the ball, throwing the ball, those types of things, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's I love it. This is, not many guys get to go on a spring trip, 38 years, but I've been fortunate to.
And you get paid to do it.
And I get paid to do it. I love my job. Get paid to play games. I like it.
Awesome. And the pitching staff, you said 2 guys are down. We talked about the one throwing. Are those guys, are they working their way back, or they're going to be out for the season, or?
Probably one's out for the season. He's going to need Tommy John. Brady Hartman, who's really, really good. William Davids Myers, a freshman who's got just an electric arm. We were so excited to get him, and he just had an MRI last week, and we hope it's not a labrum. If it's a labrum, it's 2 years out. He'd miss his freshman and sophomore year of college, and that's just devastating to a kid. He may have just popped his shoulder out of a socket, and if that's the case, we may get him back for the last half of the year, but we got to build him back up. We also get 2 really good arms just coming off Tommy John surgery that are ready to start throwing now. We got to build them up. So if things go right, middle of the season, we could have 3 guys that are in that 87 and 91 range, coming at you for an inning or 2 at a time. So excited about that. But that's just the injuries in baseball nowadays. And unfortunately, we've had more than our fair share the last couple of years. It's really hampered us a lot. And just simple things like pulled hamstrings or fouling the ball off your instep. Spraining an ankle, you hit the base and you sprain your ankle. Or the other day, my catcher went to get a ball and he was going foul and he slid into it while my third baseman was coming. So my catcher takes out the third baseman. He severely sprains his ankle, and now the catcher tore some cartilage on it. I mean, it was just one of those plays trying to keep the ball. Yeah, just stuff happens in baseball, and
some weird things happen. You go, the old saying, go to the ballpark every day. You are guaranteed to see something you have not seen before. I don't care how long you've been there.
And we are the epitome of it right now. So
well,
we'll be okay.
Hopefully you get healthy on the trip. Hopefully the trip as well. It'd be nice to get a couple W's, but hopefully they continue to grow as a team and are ready when conference gets around.
Just keep telling them to plug away and don't look at the record. We're 0-0 in the conference, and that's where we should be judged. But hopefully you get down there, and you need to win some games to get a little confidence. I don't care if you're 8-0 and you've played all the local junior highs. You feel 8-0. You're 0-8 and you could play Mississippi State, Texas, Arizona State. You're 0-8. You're still an 0-8 team and you feel it. So you got to get some wins just to get the confidence back. And again, once we get 1 or 2 wins, I think I told them we could go on an 8, 9, 10 game win streak easily. So
Yeah, get those and take care of those little things.
exactly. With the young kids, it's just, every day it's just constant learning and coaching and teaching. And so, like I said, 20th game of the year, then you can start making judgments of where we're at. But early on, we're going to take some hits. And yesterday's second game, I probably mismanaged the bullpen. I did, but I was trying to get guys out there. I wanted to get more guys out there, get their feet wet, get the experience. And we may take a couple losses from it, but long term, I think we're going to be really, really good for it.
Well, Coach, again, we appreciate you coming up, and you said you take some hits. Hopefully, you'll get some hits now too.
Yes.
And we'll talk to you as the season goes on.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
That is Coach Martel. You are watching Titan Table Talk.